We should never allow the government to decide what is acceptable speech and what is unacceptable speech. We should penalize behaviors, not opinions, and not speech. If you start trying to regulate speech, you start trying to regulate thoughts, you start trying to regulate beliefs rather than behaviors, there's no way that you're not going to abridge the constitutional rights of millions of Americans.
Attention all squads, missing child reported. Name, Jason Gritch, age 4. Last seen in the city limits wearing a plaid skirt, black shirt, blonde hair. Any contact, hold and discipline immediately. This all points advisory effective immediate. Time out this station, 12:45 p.m.
Ten to 4 Central. Will advise if contact made with child suspect. Is this call for a runaway or possibly is this a lost child? Central.
Unit calling. Lost child is believed to be a possible runaway. Child has disappeared in the past but no apparent reason. Unit calling, please identify and report if you need additional units to help in search. Over.
Negative. Central. This is Unit 1941. We're still outside the city limits. Please advise on child's guardian address so we can proceed to question guardian about last known location of child. Over.
Affirmative, 1941. Guardian address is 1801, Feminist Avenue, Block 25. Guardian has advised they are presently at the home now and will be expecting your arrival shortly. To repeat, if child is located, discipline immediately and then advise guardian of child status. This is the last time they are going to permit this kind of behavior. Child has been reconditioned several times in the past 2 years for similar problems. According to guardian, in past events of this nature the child disappeared suddenly and then reappeared again. No explanation given about this oddity. Over.
Address confirmed. Will advise. Proceeding code 3 to guardian address. No backup needed at this time. Over. Hey Cooper, can you imagine how cold that little boy's legs must be wearing the school uniform they make all the students wear to classes? It's a red flannel plaid skirt with a sash that gives some warmth but not enough, with a wind breeze going straight up his Can't we try thinking positive? These are fragile little boys. They can't do the same things girls can. Sure to have the emergency supplies out for first aid assistance. He might develop frostbite or hypothermia. If he's wet, we'll have to get the clothes off ASAP and wrap him up in some really warm clothes. Those thermal bottles should work really well. He's 4 years old. That SH0ULD cut down on the recovery time once we've found him. Central. This is 1941. We're 10 to 8 on scene. Please advise hospital of medical status of child once we've located him. We are now going inside to contact guardian. Over.
Affirmative, 1941. Please advise after investigation of status. Time out this station, 1:20 p.m. FEM 1226, Feminist Grove Precinct.
Good afternoon, madam. We're from the police department. We understand you're the child's guardian. Do you have a photograph of the child so we can be sure to send a copy to each squad car in the precinct?
Yes, of course. I'm not actually the child's mother. He was found by a couple down the street and placed with me as his foster guardian. The story about him is rather odd, to say the least. His name is Jason Rich, and from what I was told by the authorities, he and 2 other men were found near the park pond on the east side of the city about 6 months ago in a strange kind of ship. I don't know what happened to the men who were with him. I assume they were reconditioned and then placed as male slaves. The boy is about 4.5 years old now, and they felt he was young enough that we could retrain him to obey our laws and adhere to our ways of living. I have a video I've saved of him. Let me put it on my video screen. These are the only ones I have since he started training in the elementary school. I never see him much because they keep the students on campus most of the week, then I might see him on the weekends. I feel I was making real progress with him, but now who knows what's going to happen.
We'll make a hard copy of his picture for our dispatcher to send out. What did he usually wear whenever he was either at home or on campus? How long has he been gone whenever the disappearance would happen? Would he appear in the house again somewhere or someone else find him outside the house?
Yes, most times he'd be there 1 second and then gone the next. That's why this picture shows him a little uncomfortable, because I wouldn't tolerate these kinds of pranks. I don't believe he would run away though. His personality was such that he wouldn't want to leave without me. He was so much like most male children. They can't exist without women.
I see. We'll make a note of that for any follow-ups we do after the boy is found.
Don't get me wrong, I love him, but sometimes, his antics got too much and I couldn't take them anymore. Control is the most important part of the male training program, you know that. Don't you have children too? I'm sure you don't let your male slave just walk all over you and itch me he wants. Like that, he just appeared again. Now, he's gone again. That's the kind of pranks I'm talking about.
To be quite honest, we've never experienced this before. I think we should report this to the military, since there is no technology we know of that could do this to a person. I believe we're dealing with an extraterrestrial. This could be why he's been having problems adjusting to our way of living. He's not from this planet, perhaps.
I find that very hard to believe. I've been caring for the boy now for the past year and he never showed any habits that would make me believe he was not from our world. I do have to admit that when he first came to stay with me, There were moments where he was totally surprised by some things we do without thinking. Like having our male slaves kiss our hands as an obvious sign of respect. It seemed totally alien to him.
Neither of us can explain how the boy just appeared and disappeared. Do you have any explanation for this kind of phenomena other than that he is intellectually gifted?
No, I cannot explain it. My daughter and I are always around him, since he's not able to take care of himself. Let me go and find her and you can ask her yourselves about the things she's seen.
That isn't necessary. We just need as many facts about the child as we can obtain. I'm going to call into Central and let them know the situation. The other officer will remain and take any additional facts you think are relevant to the boy's behavior.
Central. This is 1941. We have contacted the missing child's guardian and have learned some astonishing facts. We feel this case should be handled by the military because of odd phenomena that have been identified by both officers who have witnessed some unexplainable things. Over.
Affirmative, 1941. Please stand by until we can dispatch the proper authorities to your location. Time out this station, 2:15 p.m. FEM 1226.
Central. To advise on status of child. He was seen in the home within the past 5 minutes but disappeared as soon as we saw him. Why or where he is now is unknown at this time. Over.
Affirmative, 1941. If possible, please transmit any photographs you have at present of child's likeness and we'll send an update on the all points advisory as soon as we receive the information from you. Remain on site until further notice. Time out this station, 2:16 p.m. FEM 1226. Attention all squads. Attention all squads. Additional information on previous all points advisory on lost child incident. Officers on scene with additional agents en route. All squads, be advised if any contact made with lost child. Hold in contact Unit 1941 on scene. To repeat, lost child is a male adolescent named Jason Rich, reported last seen wearing a plaid red skirt with a black shirt. Blonde hair, approximate age 4.5 years old. Time out this station, 2:21 p.m., FEM 1226.
His name is Omran Daknesh, just 5 years old, and his feet barely hung over the edge of a seat in an ambulance. Dazed, he didn't cry as he wiped away blood and the dust of a building that collapsed around him in an airstrike. His silence somehow reminded the world today of its silence in the face of the atrocities in Aleppo. Omran was pulled out alive Wednesday. 5 other children died when the building they were in was hit during the relentless Syrian-Russian offensive on rebel-held areas in Aleppo. The image of Omran's face spread like wildfire on the internet. One tweet called him the real representative of the Syrian people.
Stop killing Syrian innocent people, civilian. Our children need to live in peace.
The doctor who treated Omran said today there were many more severe cases no one is paying attention to.
We need to protect our hospital, our doctors, our medical workers from airstrike.
Omran is recovering. His family now wants to escape. The same choice another boy's family made a year ago, Aylan Kurdi, whose body washed up on a beach. He too was a symbol of Syria's youngest victims. Now there's a new one. Tomorrow there may be another. Richard Engel, NBC News.
They've reported from around the world, challenged the powerful, and they bring all of this to every story that breaks.
We've got breaking news, and it's good news.
And touches your heart.
How do you even say thank you? Thank you is not big enough.
I made this.
The images shocked the world. Relentless bombings. Stunned survivors.
Apa? Apa?